stake to earn POGGER coin, that the only way will be through having one of those founding assets on Solana. So the main activity will be on POGCHAIN for POGGER coin, but the genesis of new POG coin, not necessarily new, but I guess the only way to redeem for consistent rewards like staking would be on that chain.
Cool, thank you. That clears that up quite a bit for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that. Now, can you just give us like the dumbed down answer of like, I bought one of them off the mint, maybe two. What do I own?
This week episode is brought to you by none of Secret Supply of Sauce, the best sauce known to mankind and available on shelf anywhere. Even when the freezer is full of sauce, there is still no sauce for you. You want some Nona sauce? Too bad, only Nona decides who gets the sauce.
This week's episode is brought to you by Pog N Magz Eliminator Challenge. Join us in a Survivor Mode NFL League. Pick just one team each week to win their game and move on to the next week if they do. If your team loses or ties, you're out, and you can only pick each team once during the year. No purchase necessary to join. There will be a prize pool of NFTs for the winners, and if you'd like to contribute to that prize pool, we'd be happy to give you the shout-out you deserve for doing so. Week 1 is this week, so get your picks in today. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 16 of the Pog N Magz Pinecast. Mags is busy editing as I speak, so it's just me tonight, and thankfully, no issues this time. I guess it's only when Mags is around that happens. Well, let's get right to it. We got some reverse countdowns to take care of. We got K-Fuel now coming in at 236 days since we were promised. We got our play staking and DEX coming in at 255 days, and the airdrop for our play is coming in 338 days late. We also have a new addition to the count-ups this week. Our boys over on ETH, the Dorks, they promised a trailer by August 31st, and now we are 5 days late on that. I was actually told it would be a few days until we received the trailer. So just going back, because we don't forget, we were once told that it would be a few weeks until we got our NFTs off a Theta drop. And as time told us, that ended up being 329 days. So in crypto NFT land, a few weeks equals 329 days. So if you do some basic math, divide by 7, a few weeks, 329, a few days would be 47 days. So let's see if the Dorks will change our math or if our math holds true. I got the under on 47, but I'm not 100% sure. I also happened to notice today that Theta TV, the guys at Theta Labs, tried to pull a fast one on us. But guess what? Pog N Magz ain't having that. You know, you dropped this Monday news, and you want Pog N Magz to have to wait a full week to report on it. But joke's on you this time, because it's Monday night. And here I am recording this. So a moment of silence for all of our streamers over at Theta TV. Just want to say thank you to you guys. There's a lot of good people over there that have been putting a lot of time and effort into that streaming. And I wish you guys all well. I hope you guys continue to stream and that you find another outlet for this. So we wish you guys all well. The reason for the abrupt intro is that we had an awesome interview this week with our boy Kyler from POGs, and we are actually going to join that interview now that is already taking place. So we'll start that after these messages.
Pop is popping and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Pog N Magz Podcast.
Okay. So, it is definitely a very robust ecosystem. The POG ecosystem is very vast, and we were super lucky to get the license, not the license, but we co-founded this with the actual brand from the 90s. About November 21 is when we launched that. And so previously I'd gotten to work at some really great companies, Google and Unity and Rivian. And all of that was really inspired and sparked because of my belief and appreciation for Bitcoin back in about 2012, 2013. I was working at a bank, and that really inspired me to want to get into the startup world and get into tech. And it ended up being pretty beneficial to me. And I really now get to pursue what I'm most passionate about, which is crypto. Not just crypto, but interoperable gaming, and how a blockchain enables us to build a huge ecosystem of developers without them having to really have to access some centralized database. My experience at Unity really made me feel like decentralization is key, as far as like for game developers to be able to do this without having huge hurdles to jump over. But POG has been, obviously the best umbrella or the best vehicle for us to do this, because it had been in so many different spaces in culture, whether it was Barbie or Pokemon or Power Rangers or Looney Tunes or Jaws and other, McDonald's and so forth, right? So all those partnerships really allow us to be very like flexible with the brand now. And what we've done on the blockchain to bring back the brand is utilize the authentication technologies of the blockchain. And so we are moving towards having our own chain, which, as you know, was a subnet of Theta, and that will be kind of the backbone for this arcade that we're building. So Mitch, the CEO of Theta Labs, is very good friends with the CEO of a company called Beamable. Beamable and POG have been working together to build out this arcade that has, 30-person team, community, leaderboards, and access to all of these different games, and all fueled by the POG coin. So that will be coming out, but we've already got our proof of concept on Solana. We've launched POGs on Solana, POG collectibles on Solana, on Ethereum, on Bitcoin, and now what we're really excited about is moving into the redemption, the interoperability between, I guess, digital and physical, not just between, different game platforms or consoles or so forth. So there is a tremendous amount of diversification throughout our ecosystem.
Thank you for that kind of overview. I mean, honestly, I think for me, maybe just right from the beginning, like, how did this start, and like, what were the steps that got you to where we are now?
Absolutely. Growing up in the 90s, I played Pogs for 7 to 10 years, and it's what got me into baseball cards and eventually playing like Pokemon on Game Boy Color as it came out. And all of those, pop culture collectibles were really fueled by my passion for Pog. How it brought in a lot of the cartoons I really loved, and a lot of the entertainment, and everybody from Michael Jordan to like we mentioned, Barbie and Apollo 13, and like it's just crazy to think about the reach that Pog had, and so I really have been passionate about interoperable gaming since 2017, when I got to help build out different departments at Unity. There was only, I think, like 300 people in the company, and I got to build out the first machine learning team with the now head of artificial intelligence and business intelligence at Google. His name is Danny Lang, and I was one of his first hires to recruit and scale out a machine learning department that would eventually teach computers to play video games and cars to drive themselves in virtual reality and so forth. And really, once I had established some credibility there, I was able to implement or introduce the opportunities of blockchain gaming. And we pursued it all the way up to our CEO for about 6 months, built proposals and so forth. And it wasn't something he was interested in doing. We were chasing more something like Adobe or CAD design for automotives and so forth. I moved on from there, but was able to get back in touch. And so POG, when we reached out to them, it was because I really believed that they could kind of be the perfect vehicle for us to implement interoperable gaming. I mean, all of the developers that we were building for at Unity, there were about 5 million at that time when I was building connected gaming, machine learning, and the game services departments. And then we got to see what was most important to them. And monetization for a game developer is critical. There has to be a way for you to pay the bills, keep the lights on while you're building out this game. And Unity was the best thing for that, for new developers. But even then, once you build a game, how do you market it? Why would people play your game? So then it's a whole nother piece of the puzzle that takes a long time to try and understand. Where if we could build interoperable gaming using one centralized asset, then we would be able to open that monetization ability to all the game developers who wanted to adopt that currency or that asset system. So the ability for a developer to build with POGs, launch their own POGs with us, or have other bigger brands that we've worked with in the past who would like to jump into gaming and Web3 as a desired collectible, we can put that both physically and digitally on a POG, and you can build your games with them as both game pieces, as there's game data on every digital POG, but also as redemption tokens and things that you can sell and trade as currency or as desired assets. And so something that we've done with Theta is now launched the POG boxes that will be the first time redeemable for the first physical collector's box that POG has made in about 25 years. The only two partnerships we've done since then were with Marvel and with the French national soccer team for the UEFA Cup. We do have a number of great relationships. I'm lucky enough to get to help pioneer the Ultimate POG brand as well, though I am co-founder and CEO of the digital arm. And so we're really excited, but all of those POG boxes are labeled 1 through 750. So each one's physically numbered, 12 packs per box. And in one random pack, you'll get an NFT on the new POGCHAIN. And that'll be the first collection. And that'll be the group of people who will get all of the initial benefits of POGCHAIN as we scale, whether that's access to currencies or whether that's access to digitals or whether that's access to content and experiences. So POG really now is a platform for authentication. We believe that the possibilities between interoperability of both cross infrastructure digitally as well as through the digital to physical realm and back is really interesting in how we incorporate gaming. And so we are bringing physicals back to the young generations through some of the partnerships that we'll announce tomorrow. Nobody really knows this yet, but there's a company called Little Spoon. They've been featured in some of the biggest parenthood content magazines and curators because they make very, very healthy snack foods and meals for kids. And so we have partnered with them to bring POGs back to the children, and then we'll be releasing through a big distribution through playgrounds as well. But we have partnerships in Hollywood for a large-scale production series that will come out, probably go into production later this year. The writer's strike really held us back a bit, but the person who's leading it has decades in the entertainment business and has done major productions for all of the big studios and feature films, as well as HBO in a series and so forth. We really have a long-term strategy, and I'm really excited about what POG can be digitally. But even beyond what I'm able to do, there is a very, very big reach that's coming just for the brand itself and a revival for all of the collectibles that we really loved as kids.
I never really put all this together. And when I first heard POGs were NFTs, this is not what I guess I didn't know what I was thinking. So I am curious, and I think that other people on Theta are as well. What are the differences? I know you said you had POGs on Bitcoin and Solana and some other chains. What are the differences between the POGs that are on each of the chains?
Absolutely. So each chain really does offer different utility. And it's been interesting to scale. And so we started with Solana because it was quick to go to market. And actually one of our co-founders or / founding advisor was somebody who led the machine learning team after it was built and I was able to move on. And he is now actually head of gaming and tech at Solana Labs. And so he introduced us to a number of developers on Solana and made sure that we had all the introductions to go to market with the right strategy and the right opportunities. And so we've been able to build a game that is now available on Solana Saga, the mobile phone, as well as desktop. So you can compete in the old stack and slam game that mechanics are very similar to like Angry Bird. Your slammer is used to flip the stack. Whatever you flip, you keep, and each of you walks away with whatever you have flipped from a pool of that you guys put your POGs into, obviously. And so we've got a number of other games that are in development there through the arcade that we're building. So on Solana, we have 4 collections that you can use in competition that also have benefits. So the founding POGGER collection is a 4,000 piece collection, and it stakes for POGGER coin. There's 13 base pieces of art and a slammer in that collection. And if you collect all 14 pieces, they're all obviously unique, but they're just different classes. So all 14 classes, or we call them POG arts. So all 14 pieces of POG art, then you are an official founding POGger, and you actually get tremendous benefits. You've gotten one of ones, you get obviously a designated channel in our Discord, but also access for trades with the archive and the treasury. You get early alpha. They've gotten, what may become very valuable digital assets in the form of Solana cryptocurrency, as well as digital assets that are on multiple chains. And then we've got our PFP collection, which is a Pogman PFP, where we went back and really tried to capture the art of the 90s that we grew up with, and added a bunch of traits that are really unique to, where we grew up in the 90s. And then we gave that away to our community through POGGER coin. So if you had POGGER coin, you could mint a number of these PFPs based on how many of these NFTs you had from our founding collection. And then we did a collection with OK Bears for players to be able to use at a lower cost, because the founding POGs were sitting around $200. They're probably around $70 to $80 now at the floor, but the founding slammers go for about $4,000. And so people didn't really want to risk those numbers when you can play with either 1 to 13. So a stack could be up to 26 POGs. And if you're playing with a founding set, that could go up to, anywhere between $10,000 to $60,000 at current prices. And so we created this collection with the OK Bears and launched it with Fractal, which is Justin Kahn, the founder of Twitch's Web3 company on Solana. And it's done really well. And it's given a lot of opportunity for people to play the game and play the proof of concept on the mobile and desktop. And then we wanted to bring all of the Ethereum folks together. So we launched our Ethereum collection, and that will give access to benefits on POGCHAIN as well. But we've got about 560 or 600 holders on Ethereum as well, which is great. Even though we kind of messed up our mint technologies with wallets, were kind of conflicting. And so the huge majority of folks who tried to mint were unable. Only about 15 to 20% of people who intended to mint were able to. And still, people who wanted to have been able to buy in at floor. And our collections are right or above where we minted as far as the lowest priced pieces. I think there's a lot of value along that line. And the Bitcoin collection is really for historic purposes. Our community really had belief. We could have been sub 20,000 inscriptions. But our community members, there's 3 really great community members. I think they go by Julian and Casa and Ace in our Discord, but they helped us launch our ordinals at 120,000, 127,000 inscription. But anyways, that's been really cool. And we do have rewards now coming for those ordinal holders in our Discord. But our Discord's really cool where, based on whatever POG you own, you'll get access to different raffles or auctions, and what you use are the points that you accrue through engagement on Discord, whether you leave a reaction or messages or invitations or whatever it may be. That racks up points, and then you're able to spend those points on opportunities to win these prizes. And so that we've been doing those with boxes, and we've got some really cool stuff coming where some of the parents who are in our community will get a huge gift basket from Little Spoon through an NFT if they win it, whether it's in gameplay or through Discord or through some other giveaway mechanism. But we've got a bunch of partnerships now on Solana where the POGs are about to go out. We did a partnership with Steppen last week. We'll do something with EV.io, which is a first-person shooter, and based on like winning or destroying avatars or destroying combatants, you win a POG if you have the POG skin. And then we've got some other cool games that'll be launching later, that are already live and really well built and amazing on Solana, and they'll be incorporating POGs. So it's a really bright future, especially with the physicals coming back, with our global strategy to make them very, very, playable again for the young kids, and then to have the adult versions, which are all stemmed from the digital. So these boxes that you get, the POGs themselves, are made from images in our NFT collections. They're actually owned by different community members. And when you get one of these POGs, flip it over, there's a QR code that will link you directly to the POG Digital original that it was made from, and it'll show you the wallet of the person who owns it and whatever else is in their wallet. So it's really good advertising for whoever owns these one of ones, whether it's on they're all unique pieces pieces, I don't mean one of ones, that's a different category. But anyways, the unique pieces that these POGs were made from, whether it's on Solana or Bitcoin or Ethereum or, at some point Theta. And so it's just a really, really cool way, I think, to make POGs with art that is, all curated through partnerships in the Web3 space, whether it's Neo Tokyo or even we have Two Bored Apes and some DGod and some other stuff in there, Jack Butcher and so forth, some of the top brands in Ethereum and on Solana. And so we are looking forward to doing that now for the Web2 brands that we partnered with in the past. A lot of the opportunities that are available to us are really exciting. And then the new ones that are coming up are through Theta and through those relationships that they have built in Hollywood. And as we were really looking to scale our platform, the opportunity of a subchain to really keep it clean and have all of our authentication for physicals and then for future redemptions, and even a lot of our digital only will be on Theta, our Theta subnet POGCHAIN. So it all makes sense. And then the distributed content is the reason why it was a no-brainer for us to do what we've always really wanted to do, which is esports streaming on top of the games that we've built. And so it's really exciting to see people win and earn and compete with huge value digital assets. Just thrilling. And so we want to make that available. And then with that comes other opportunities to create content and showcase and so forth. And so we have a plan for something called POG.TV, and that is very much in development. It is a very, very exciting time right now and what we're going into for all of these pieces to come together.
Does that mean like they play the game digitally and it would be viewed?
Yeah, so this is kind of the vision that we have and what we've built most of our platform around. The idea that you and I could compete for any number of POGs at any value that we choose, whether it's for 2,000 to 10,000 or $20 to 100 or whatever it might be. And people could jump in and watch. At some point, maybe there's a wagering system with points. I don't know if we want to go that route, but the opportunity not only to do that, but to have all the 4 games that will be hosting POGs as valuable assets that you win in these games could all be streamed, these instances, because we have a number of collectors now. And this is the key to interoperable gaming, in my opinion, is that we have a number of collectors who don't have the time or the skill to play these games, but you can only uncover these pieces through gameplay or through these digital to physical hunts. And so the opportunity then for somebody to watch a new asset be earned and have it be purchased immediately or go to market and hope that somebody's going to sell it and have access to it, I think that's already there, which is very, very, very exciting. And it's key that regardless of what game you find this POG in, there are collectors who are ready to purchase that piece from you at a valuable that could be significant even in the bear market, even in the lowest peak of the bear valley. We still have assets that are valued at $4,000 all the way down to $5 if somebody wants to get in. I think it's just a very, very, early stage, but I think it's a valid thesis that we've already been building out.
I know I think when you did it, it might have been a Twitter space, now with the Rec spaces, but you were talking also with Rob Feldman. You were talking about this system, how it goes where the POGs have maybe the digital POGs have different weights, the slammers, the surface, right? There's different, and then different angles that you would throw it.
Absolutely.
Correct? Yep. Could you explain that a little bit too?
Yes. Yeah, so the game mechanics are actually very sensitive, but very, very robust also. So basically with Unity, we are able to use the same physics plugin that NASA uses for some of their simulations, or at least they were about 6 years ago when I was there. I don't know if they've advanced beyond that, but essentially it takes into account all of the variables, weight, strength, speed, and material, and then the measurement of that material 1 through 5. So basically those stats and then the rarity of each piece based on collection will determine how the stack flips and then how the POG or how the slammer hits those POG caps or the POGs themselves. So the mechanisms as they flip, you take them, like we said, each game will utilize those game stats in different ways. We have a card strategy game that's in development. We've got some different kind of like arcade games that are both chance and skill. But when you play Pog Slam, it's very much pressure sensitive to how fast you pull up or how far you pull up, the angle of attack that you choose across the screen and the dash of where the Pog's going to, and then also there's a kind of like a speed ticker for accuracy that swings horizontally back and forth like it when you're playing Madden and you're kicking. You have to time it right to get the full power to hit it and the correct trajectory. And so it is very much a game of skill, but we also have built in materials like concrete and plastic and carpet and wood that it sits on, as well as rubber. And then the environment, whether that's indoors or outdoors, is also, and then we'll have different like physics, whether it's on the moon or whether it's on Mars, as we get into this a little bit further. But each game can be pretty intricate.
Sounds the kick and like man thing, that kind of, to me, I was thinking before you said that, I was thinking like the old Nintendo Golf where the thing's going and you got to stop it. Yeah.
Well, you get it. Yeah, we don't get too often asked about the mechanics, but it is one of the things that I'm most excited about. I think we really nailed it on ease, and it's easy to play on your phone. It's easy, obviously, now that since we built it in Unity to.
There's mobile integrations with this?
Yeah, so you can play it on the phone, Solana Saga, the mobile phone, and we will deploy it into the iOS and the Android, but the user interface or the experience of how you deposit your POGs and how you claim them is still pretty chunky for this proof of concept. So we have a lot of polishing that we need to do before we launch it to the masses. But yes, you can play it on mobile as well as desktop, and then in AR and VR in Oculus, or in the version when we launch to iOS and Android, you'll be able to anchor the stack to a table or something physical in AR on your phone and be able to flip them with what's in your screen and in your view, so it looks like AR. But anyways, it's just exciting. It's very, very accessible, and the arcade will bring people from all different chains. We'll have 4 chains integrated probably when we release, but it's already live on Solana, a lot of the vision. So yeah, it's just super exciting. I think we can continue. I'm really careful about releasing POGs. I want to make sure that we have all of our use cases taken care of, and there's an actual new reason or new value that would be created through each new collectible. And I think we really nailed it with the redemptions where they are burnable. And if you find one, you know that it is redeemable for a box. And our goal is to extend annually the date of expiration for redemption so that it is an ongoing redemption, whether you find it now or 15 years from now, it's unclaimed. So that is our goal. And we've got a physical to digital authentication plan to where you'd be able to get redemption tokens on the digital side that are authenticated from us on POGCHAIN for your collectibles. And then we would be able to store them physically with some of our partners who do security. And then obviously they would be redeemable once the person wanted it. And so just turning these redemption tokens essentially into real utilized value, whether it's StockX that wants to do it or whatever. I think it really opens up the opportunity for a company like StockX, where if they were to work with us, and they don't need to work with us obviously, but the fact that we do have this SDK available for developers through Unity and Beamable and this whole infrastructure of games that's coming gives them access to different people. And I think we're really, really excited about all of these pieces and doing it properly. So I'm not in a rush. Some of these partnerships with Theta are perfect timed, and a lot of that is thanks to Rob Feldman. We met on LinkedIn. He was posting about POGs, as a lot of us do, and I found it and hit him up, or just commented. He hit me up and we had some great conversations, and he introduced me to Andrea after explaining to me just some of the pieces and got me interested as a creator, why he and why John Heater and some of those other really ambitious creators are looking at this. And I think Theta is yet to have really their breakout. I think there's a lot of opportunity with Space Junk and what Rob's bringing with Psycho KO and other creators who will bring high budget, low budget, but really creative, interesting, and fun interactions through their content and experiences. And I think that's where this really gets unique. It's one thing to have 1 million or 100 million viewers. It's a whole nother thing to have some way to engage them far beyond the screen, and the opportunities that are there for brands that can do both, I think, are going to be huge. And I think POG is one of those brands.
So I have a question for you. I know you mentioned a little while ago about POGGER coin. and you're able to stake the NFTs on Solana, if I remember properly, to
Yep.
earn POGGER coin. Is that a crypto or is that just the
centralized point system or database?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, it is a cryptocurrency. It's an SPL built on top of, Solana protocol. Yeah, and so the only way to have access to it though is through staking these founding POGs. It's only traded like on famous Fox Federation. And so our plans with Theta on building out this authentication chain and the core for both the POG Arcade as well as POG TV, I think the use case for our utility coin, both to access games and reward players, but also to create a global access to POG merchandise and partner merchandise and so forth, is really compelling. But then to be able to stake that for whether it's staking rewards, but also governance percentages, and obviously not ownership and no like formal say, but the opportunity for you to have your say in what we call the World Pogger Federation, which is the DAO that will be associated with Pogger Coin. You'll be able to make proposals and vote on proposals, and the weight of your vote will be determined by the number of Pogger Coin that you've staked. And so a player could essentially play these games, earn enough Pogger Coin to make a proposal that impacts the future of our ecosystem. And so we're really, 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 really excited about the opportunities that come along with Pogger Coin. And so all of those on Solana who own Pogger Coin now, which is just basically our founding collectors on Solana, will have an equal multiplication allocation of the new coin that will be on our Theta subnet POGCHAIN. Other collections will have allocations as well, mainly being our Ethereum and the first collection on POGCHAIN, which you can only redeem through boxes. Sorry.
Gotcha. No, so the current Pogger coin on Solana is going to migrate over to the POGCHAIN.
Yeah, so the real only use on Solana in the future for Pogger Coin is that it will be the only collection to be able to stake for Pogger Coin will be the founding collection on Solana. And so we'll always be basically taking a portion of what we bring in through gameplay and through purchases and so forth of Pogger Coin. We'll be converting that back to Solana and feeding that through the staking capacity. And so it'll be interesting to see the value and how that comes about. There will be other ways to win it and earn it, obviously through gameplay, but if you just want to stake to earn Pogger Coin, that the only way will be through having one of those founding assets on Solana. So the main activity will be on PogChain for Pogger Coin, but the genesis of new Pog Coin, not necessarily new, but I guess the only way to redeem for consistent rewards like staking would be on that chain.
Cool, thank you. That clears that up quite a bit for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that. Now, can you just give us like the dumbed down answer of like, I bought one of them off the mint, maybe two. What do I own?
You own, based on the number of your NFT, you own that number physical box. And as soon as the boxes arrive here in the US, you'll be able to redeem for your box. And that means you'll burn your NFT, you'll give us your address information, you'll pay your shipping costs, and your box will be delivered directly. And so you will have the opportunity to rip open that box, open up all 12 packs, find all 72 different POGs. I think there's 80 plus in the whole box altogether in the 12 packs. And in one of those 12 packs will be your redemption code and link to mint your collectible on PogChain, for the first Genesis collection. Now, some people will leave it sealed, some people won't redeem them and will hopefully trade them. And then the highest numbers, the 1 through 200, actually went to current holders of the Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin collections. And so but Pog has, I think, 50 or so stored away that we're giving away through Discord and so forth. And we've already converted actually 20 of those over to Solana, and those are being hidden in 4 different games along with some other assets that Pod created. But it's really exciting. STEPN, the number one NFT app on the iOS platform, just did raffle of their coin for 5 boxes that will, the owners, when they win them, will cross what we're calling the Champions Bridge. They'll send us their Solana They'll register their Theta wallet, and we'll drop them their Theta collectible to redeem on Theta Drop whenever they're ready. And so there's 3 other games where 5 Pogger boxes each will be hidden in these games, and they'll also cross the Champions Bridge to ultimately Theta Drop, and then open their box, hopefully open their packs, have all of these Pogs, be able to link into all of the digital art and learn about the communities behind these collections, but also find their redemption token for the first Genesis collection on PogChain.
And we will be right back.
This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Theta's Community Guardian Node. Theta's premier community guardian node where you can stake your Theta if you don't run your own guardian node. Best of all, 100% uptime so you do not miss any rewards, and 0 fees so you earn 100% of your T-Fuel. Trusted by Theta Labs, you can easily stake directly within your wallet. Simply go to the staking tab, choose Delegated Guardian Node, and find Dr. Theta's Guardian Node. Quick, simple, reliable, and best of all, safe, as the coins never leave your wallet. Stake with the doc today. This week's episode is brought to you by GuardiansOfTheta.com, offering 0% one-click Theta Guardian staking with random monthly token giveaways. Guardians also airdropped everyone staking with him an NFT that you're able to stake and earn T-Vibe. 100% uptime, 0 fees, random giveaways, what's not to love? Stop paying 4% and come join the fam with Guardians of Theta.
Papa Magz, yeah. Papa Magz. Papa Magz Podcast. Papa Magz Podcast.
So this redemption token, does that give me the digital version of each of the POGs that I have physically as well?
No, so that will just give you one digital POG, and it'll be of a 850 piece collection. And the only items that will be in that collection will be redeemed through the box packs. So the only way, if the only way that they'll show up as available for sale is if somebody finds one and wants to put it up for sale. But they will give you access to everything that we create on PogChain. So it will be the golden ticket basically through everything that we create. If your favorite actor is on here, or a movie or a game or whatever you want to be a part of, and it's gated, one of these 850 pieces will get you through every gate that is created. It will be the master key across the entire PogChain and give you access to every benefit that we create for any collection out there for the most part. Unless it's like the physical redemption. Those will be unique to the redeemable because they have to be burned.
I know you're POG Digital, and I don't know if this is a stupid question, but I guess so just POG, the parent company or whatever. Basically what I'm saying is there going to be a resurgence of physical POGs around? Because it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah, so the first physical POGs that we've created in like the last 25 years were with Marvel. We did a pack drop through some stores in select countries, and we in 2 months in 3 countries we did more sales than any 2 months in the 90s when we were selling in 35 countries. Yeah, because now the millennials are the ones with the kids, and so they're buying these things trying to revive them. And even Ryan's World, he got like I think 2 to 6 million views or something playing Pogs with his mom. And so they're coming back in a big way throughout the playground. And so on September 6th, the food company, Little Spoon, they make really healthy snacks for kids and meals. They're releasing a collection, an exclusive collection in their boxes that you'll get. But basically, our physical packs for Web3 are all physicals, obviously authenticated by POG, but we're doing a whole global redistribution. We're waiting for our Hollywood stuff to pop, and then you'll see all of the POGs flood back into the stores globally. We went to Nuremberg, Germany, where 70,000 toy makers, manufacturers, distributors, retailers were all there looking at new toys, and we talked about the resurgence of POG, and the number of orders throughout different countries is absolutely insane for new POGs. There's no way for us to manage the order unless we took a tremendous amount of money to drop them. And so we are going to invest a significant amount of money in the manufacturing of these things for global distribution, but we're absolutely just waiting for the peak of the craze with entertainment to to drop those so that we can, obviously match the value, of each POG and each partnership as they roll out. But one of the best things about POGs is that we're accessible. So we don't plan to make them super, super exclusive for the kids. But the exclusive POGs will all be the Web3 digital replicas, which are the physical packs that we're giving. And so these 850 boxes, there's 10,000 packs in total for this first physical drop. And the art stems from our Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin collections. And this box won't be created again. If there may be a situation where if you own one of these POG pieces digitally that we made physicals out of, and you want to do another run in the future, maybe we can print 1,000 or 5,000 in our physical collection, and you would earn some money with those sales. It's something that we're really looking into, but these packs and this collection won't be sold, and these boxes won't be sold again.
So this is probably a stupid question, and you probably already answered it. So there's 10,000 POGs in this Theta redeemable drop. Are they all different?
Yeah, so they're actually 10,000 packs.
10,000 packs.
6 POGs and 1 slammer in each pack. And there's a total of 48 different POG pieces of art. And then I think there's going to be 4 different slammers, all the same art, but different colors. So the total collection, I think, is about 52 pieces for the entire set. And every box will have a full set of POGs inside of all those packs with some duplicates. So when you have that box, for a fact that you have the full collection of physicals as well as that redemption. But yes, so I think you'll get it's 86 POGs in total, including the slammers in your box, and then 52 pieces are unique.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super exciting. I just geek out over it.
Yeah, honestly, this is a lot more exciting than I was anticipating it being. I didn't see all of this like being put together the way that you are laying it out. It's pretty wild. So from what I'm hearing, physicals are going to make a comeback, but what makes these different is that these ones that are physical will probably have physical value at some point just from scarcity, because these are the only time that those are going to be printed. But the real value is this golden key NFT that you get after you redeem and open.
Exactly. So the golden key for you is probably going to be the most long-term play where you'll be able to walk in the gates that people are paying to get in, whether they had to buy an NFT or somehow qualify or get POGGER coin or whatever to go through these gates. That magic key or that one NFT will get you through all of those gates. As far as like the physical POGs themselves being valuable, what's very, very exciting is that each of these POGs of 48 pieces were chosen, from all of our collection. And on our Ethereum collection, we had 44 one-of-ones that had partnerships. They were created with Jack Butcher, one of the top artists on Ethereum. I'm not sure if you know, but I imagine you do. But also Bored Ape Yacht Club has 2, and then Karafuru, and I think there's a number of other great projects that we partnered with to launch these, like Bodogos and the Nifty Portal and Neo Tokyo. And so these 1,000 POGs, let's say, of that one NFT, the Neo Tokyo POG that's made, each of those QR codes link directly to the NFT, that POG, that Neo Tokyo POG that people can learn about. And so if you are a part of Neo Tokyo and you're one of the millennials or Gen Z that remember POGs, I think there was 150 to 160 million of us at one time in the 90s that recognized POG just in those generations. And then, you want to be able to show people, like, this is my project. It's on an authentic POG. So the people of Bodogos, I think once they see these physicals, they're going to be like, oh shit, I can get a physical POG representing my favorite community that links back to a collaboration they did with my favorite collectible as a kid. And then it gets really exciting. I think you find a really cool Bored Ape one. Or like Neo Tokyo or the D Gods or whoever's your favorite collection. I'm thinking, obviously, The Pineapple Society, I'm thinking that there's a number of projects across multiple blockchains, and especially on Theta, that would be awesome in the different partnerships. But that's the idea is not only are you getting physical POGs from your redemption digitally, but you're also able to now link the authentication of that physical POG to a digital asset. And what makes it really cool is that 1,000 physical assets all point to this one digital asset. And if I own that digital asset, everybody who looks at that POG will link into my wallet and see everything else I own. So if I want to advertise for my other favorite, NFT communities on that, I just hold them in that same wallet. And then people who play POGs or who collect POGs or whatever will find it. So that's why I think some people will want to like do a higher number of these, but 1,000 or 2,000 of each is kind of all we can do. There's about 60,000 POGs being made in total and slammers.
Popper, how cool would that be to have Secret Pineapple Society POGs?
Well, I think Popper would make a great slammer.
I think he would get slammed.
Of course you do. So I got another question for you.
Yeah.
So obviously each of the mystery boxes, NFTs on Theta Drop, they have different rarities. Is there any benefit as far as redeeming to these rarities, or is that just kind of like a token thing?
Yeah, I think
really
that's
the same.
So I think the rarity comes from the trait, obviously the trait rarity, as well as like the data, the game data, whether it's a 5 or a 1 or whatever. But those measurements are just kind of, I guess, arbitrary. The number that you have, the box number, really, I think, is determining the rarity, whether it's like a sub 200 or a sub 100 or even a sub 10, or whether it's a sub 600, sub 500, or up to the 750. I think they're all going to be valuable. I think a number of us are going to redeem, but that's, I think, dependent on what you want to see on that. Once you get your redemption token in the pack, it will reshuffle. And so your mint will be a random number and a random rarity. And that'll be the long-term hold. So this one is definitely meant to be burned. And the results, I think, there is one of one in the Genesis collection on POGCHAIN. And so somebody who redeems will get that one of one, or potentially it could stay sealed in a box for 100 years or for 10 years or whatever, but it'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, that is, it's amazing. There's just dealing with Theta Drop here for the last couple of years. It just seems like there's a lot of people that just don't even interact. Like they get something and they don't even interact with it. It's crazy. So, we might not see all of these 850 in the wild at any time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's important, though, and that was my take, I think, as Kyler started tonight, was the play is not financial advice, is to just redeem them, since, we're brand new to it, and that we're going to need that. So I think that's the play. Unless you have multiple, then make that decision on your own, but you should definitely redeem one.
Well, so this golden key, is it currently able to be used, or?
No, so this will be through PogChain. So we'll build all of this future. The way that we've built out all the utility for all of our other collections, we'll build this around the key. So we'll basically be building all of the ecosystem, and every door that we build will be opened by this master key. So though nothing has been built yet, because the chain isn't up, the art is almost done. And it'll do more than just get you in. It will serve as a phenomenal identifier, in social media, but also in the arcade and throughout the other parts of the ecosystem. So it'll be a key that also identifies you in different ways.
Very cool.
I know it's kind of cliche, and I think that's even cliche. You know what I'm saying? It's, even though this is the 4th chain, Theta, that POG is going to be on, it still kind of sounds like we're early.
I would absolutely agree. I think the real potential for POG to not only be the resurged physical collectible that connects kids and their parents, I think we also have the opportunity to turn it into this very highly desirable digital collectible that is won by the biggest esports gaming platforms in the world. So if we can create a collection of 10 that the champion of the next Fortnite tournament wins, and then maybe some of those want to turn around and sell, how much will those go for? At what point is it a high number? And then even down to the developer or the very, very, junior developer, they're going to be adventure games where we'll hide these. We already have those in portals. But the catalyst of, Hollywood, as well as digital gaming, the real recognition of value for physical and digital collectibles that's come about over the last 5 to 7 years has just been very robust. And so when that comes back with digitals, if it does, or when a bull market comes back and people push, or if cryptocurrency pushes, and as people learn more about blockchain and how to utilize these different pieces, I think we'll be onboarding a lot of people through POG. But as the masses onboard themselves through different means, the POG digital collectibles will be very, very exciting, especially as they give access to physical and digital experiences and content. And then I think the POGGER coin aspect really gets to be interesting too, as far as maybe you'll help us decide what partnerships to pursue, what infrastructure pieces to create, and so forth. So the guidance long term is something that is exciting. But when you combine all of that with the nostalgia of POG and the fact that it did bring hundreds of millions of people together, whether or not it was estimated that there's over 100+ million people who were playing POGs at one time, let alone the recognition from parents and teachers who remember POG and the brand and the kids and so forth. It is one of those brands that's so well trusted by those generations that know it, that we just have to get it right. And I think with the partnerships that we have right now, we absolutely can.
I know, going back to when Pogs was huge, there was this one Christmas in the 90s that it was all anyone ever wanted was Pogs, and everyone had Pogs. It was and I don't know if they were official Pogs, but it was the only time I ever wanted to go to my mom to a craft stores because they had these buckets of Pogs.
Absolutely.
They were everywhere. And those buckets, the ones that I would find, and I think it's kind of funny because there's that GIF, the meme with, Milhouse from The Simpsons with Alf back in Pog form, right? I'm sure you're familiar with that one. It's freaking great. And but when I was a kid, they had all these different Simpsons Pogs in those bins. And that's always, and they were and the cool thing about The Simpsons is there's so many obscure characters. It's just fantastic. So you could just find a ton of different ones, and it was cool. So it's funny that Pogs, to me, I remember the Simpsons Pogs, and then Simpsons talked about Alf's back in Pog form, and now full circle is I supposedly Ryan Reynolds is bringing Alf back. So
Perfect.
Sky's the limit, man.
We have some relationships that know Ryan very, very well. Our representative, the person who is executive producing and his studio is creating the TV show, has actually done films with Ryan Reynolds. And so the opportunity for us to do something and release the POG with it, if the timing coincides with production and release, the opportunities are going to be there. It all really just depends on what kind of timing comes out with who are the partnerships that are available at the time of this establishment, and what are we going to do long term, at what timeline are we releasing these drops. But yeah, that would be super fun.
With Pogs, and you have the nostalgia for the 90s, and then you have the new kids and other people wanting it back. It just seems like a huge thing. And if it's the right IP, that could be really big for that one, which draws a lot of attention to it. So
exactly. I mean, that's what we're hoping to do is do wave on wave, right? Every month or whatever it is, drop a very, very valuable collectible with a very, very, very talented and recognized IP partner that matches the nostalgia or matches what we're going for. And picking the right brands to go with is something that I'm excited about doing. And it is a very, very hard thing as well, because a lot of those conversations don't necessarily result in what everybody's hoping for. And so, you also have to sometimes be disappointed, and that's not super fun.
Right.
But it's all part of the opportunities for us to build this thing. And I remember, dude, that's what makes me so passionate, is I would go get these Happy Meals just so I could get the Power Ranger Pogs. I probably ate I wanted Happy Meals for every meal of the day, and like I would just like throw it away just to get that fucking Pog, and now like
Yeah.
yeah, and so I've got a bunch of them now, and I feel it's now what's crazy is I feel rich having this Pog collection. Like I've got a very, very great Pog collection. A lot of these boxes are sealed. A lot of these packs are amazing. 90s Pogs with Barbie and with Pokemon. No, I don't have a ton of Pokemon ones, but like, anyways, I've got a ton of really cool IP. But that when I open up a pack, like if I'm really just I want a thrill or something, open up a pack and for like an hour, even like a week, I'm just like fuck. And every time I sit at my desk, I'll be playing with these fucking things. I'd be like putting in my hands, feeling them because like you just feel the gloss and like you see the picture on the cardboard. It pulls me back, and I'm just like. I feel like I'm a kid again with this, and I'll go golfing and I'll keep it in my pocket because I just like will pull it out and like, which Pog do I have today? It's cool. And I put these plastic cases. So what, like that, yeah, I don't want to keep you guys either. I just get excited, but like I've got this case for these physical Pogs that they fit a lot of these like these rare coin sizes. And so you can get the right size that fits like a little foam thing around the Pog and then sits in this very beautiful plastic case. And so it's this beautiful coin and it's a Pog. And it just like, it is such a validation for a 90s kid. I feel like to have that in your pocket and you're like, fuck, nobody, like only my generation and maybe like people from, the generation ahead of me know what this is. And the people that know would be like, holy fuck, that's so cool. But the people don't know. And the fact that Pogs were so big that the United States military for 25 years used cardboard coins with pictures on them as a currency around Air Force bases or around the globe.
Yeah, insane. They did them overseas. They called them Pogs because they didn't have change, like they quarters and nickels and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So they would write, what it was worth.
That's exactly because it was lighter to carry over in airplanes across the seas than metal coins.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so funny. It's so cool. A lot of people, you'll hear like I'm doing what I love, but it sounds like you're a really smart guy that absolutely loves what he does because as accomplished as you are, and you're just balls to the wall, freaking Pogs and loving it, and that's freaking awesome.
Thank you. I feel like this is corny as like you mentioned as it sounds. Is like I feel like I was almost made to do this, right? Like it puts all of my skill sets that I've really tried to curate over the last decade and a half to work in everything that I get to do, and I get to learn game development and software development as a developer, not just the person that puts the teams and the infrastructure together. So it has been more rewarding than anything else I've gotten to do, and I just feel super lucky. It's something I've always worked towards to be able to have something that I kind of get to direct and steer and obviously like carry the currents and the momentum and build with the people that are excited about it and help me to create this capacity for challenges and for work and for collaborations that I didn't have before, and expanded my patience and really like taught me what community is and how amazing it can be, and how, as silly as it sounds, to build around NFTs, like that's what we do. And now Pog is already one of the biggest community platforms on the planet because it brought so many of us together. You didn't need to know a kid on the playground, but if they had a cool Pog and they let you hold it, they were cool with you, dude. Like they were your buddy. Yeah. And so I think if we do this right, it pulls on the right pieces, and I just want to honor it because I think what it can be for all of us is really cool. And then we would be the ones ushering in this new technology, and we'd all get to be there when it, goes mainstream or whatever. But it's just kind of silly, but I absolutely love what I do.
It's awesome.
That is awesome. And I just have one last question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
So right now, it's my understanding that to play the online version, it's only on Solana, and it's using the Solana NFT, like POG NFT forms.
That is correct.
So in the future, are there going to be, and so part of my confusion was I thought that these that we were buying were also going to be like digital POGs as well, which now I understand that it's not. It's a digital key that's going to get you into things. Is there going to be digital POG NFTs on Theta at some point that we'll be able to play against the Solana crowd or against the other?
Absolutely. And so that's what we're working on right now, is moving all that we've built over to our arcade. So basically the Solana game, mobile and desktop, is a proof of concept. And there are 4 collections on Solana that you can utilize to engage and to play and to compete and so forth. And when we have game nights, it goes off. But what really is going to get us to the next level is when we bring that game and open up the second game that we've built inside of our arcade. And to do that, we do need POGGER COIN. We do need POGCHAIN to really enable that, because we want to make sure that we get people used to using the right POGGER COIN from the beginning. And so Theta will be, and so that's Mitch and I and our game team over at Beamable had a meeting yesterday, and that's what we're really figuring out the timelines around, is how would we release this in the right way. But yes, Theta will have everything. Well, not just Theta, but PogChain will have everything. And so we may potentially, we've thought about it, but we wanted to hold off on dropping NFTs, more NFTs on Theta drop until the redemption happens. But yeah, as we get closer to the game being built, we'll have NFTs on Theta that people can compete with in a number of games, and we really are excited about the redemption capabilities that we've gotten defined with Theta. So that is where all of our redemption will be, whether it's a hoodie that we do with a major brand like LV or Gucci. We are huge among French designers.
Or Sizzle Popcorn.
Yeah, Sizzle Pop. Sizzle Pop. Let's go. But dude, we'll figure out our way. But it's just, yeah, it's fucking exciting. I don't know, man. I could talk about this a lot, but yes, we will have a lot of our collections coming out on Theta. Some of them will redeem for NFT or physical POG. Some of them won't. Some of them will be permanent. And I think that we didn't necessarily anticipate the desire for those, because we're on Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we wanted people to have utility. And on those chains, they don't have a lot of utility for the most part. And so people are like, give me utility. What's the use case? And so we almost skewed too far. We're like, okay, well, this NFT that we're doing on Pog with Theta for our PogChain, access to PogChain, is going to be burnable, right? That's the most utility that you could have for an NFT, is that there is no other function after that than it gets you this thing. And so yes, that's really cool to prove, and I'm very, very excited about it, because it means more physical opportunities to enter into digital. But I think we wanted to make them permanent, but I just didn't want you as a user to have to make the decision or do the research to figure out if this NFT has been claimed or not. I think that opens up the potential to get scammed, or the potential to just even misinterpret what you have a little bit. And so the burnability of the redemption is something that we decided to do. But yeah, dude, I definitely am excited about making sure that you have POGs that are permanent on chain that you and your friends can compete with. And that's where I think it's going to get really exciting. So any communities that you want us to launch with, here's the deal. Let's do this. This is the call out to all the Pog N Magz, Pinecast, all of the viewers on Theta, and everybody out there. Who do you want to have the first collections of digital POGs on Theta/PogChain for the gameplay to be enabled? Because we'll figure out the right number based on which communities y'all choose, and we'll make sure that we drop that. Because being that we're going into this and there are so many native Theta users and such a passionate community, we want to make this right for the people that we're building this with. So you and I, the 3 of us, and Andrea and Rob, and whoever else you feel like would be a good fit, let's get these conversations going. Let's build a list. Let's really figure out what kind of an offering we want to make to the new people coming into this space, and what projects do we want to highlight, and how do we want to bring those folks on Theta into this in the right way.
Yeah, that's awesome for sure. Happy to be
sign me up.
That. Yeah, no doubt. That's great. Yeah, certainly looking forward to that. Like I said, coming into this thing, when I first heard that Pogs was coming to Theta Drop, I'm like, what? What is going on with this? And now just, listening to you and how passionate you are. It's just like you got me hyped up about Pogs, dude.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Punch in air. You got me hyped.
Kyler, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was great. I learned a ton. Honestly, I think I can safely say that I've learned more in this episode than in any other episode.
Oh man, thank you. I wasn't. I just had a great conversation. It was fantastic.
Literally, because I didn't know what I just didn't know what I had, and
the rest of the community too. You know.
Oh yeah,
know.
I hope so. Maybe one or two others.
Yeah, well, and we have tens and tens of listeners, so there's some of it's gonna get out.
Yeah,
good.
Well, I mean, you touched on it earlier, right? It's there's so much out there. There's so many Discords. There's so many, everything. It's just hard to stay on. And
absolutely.
like Mag said, you just dropped the Omega all over us. So we appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the opportunity for us to be an authenticator of collectibles and kind of narrow that search down with like a validation is definitely possible. But more than that, we want to bring everybody together. So this has been awesome to get to know you guys, and you guys are dope. This was dope.
And
thank you so much.
Anytime you need to come on, Kyler, to drop any more Omega, just let us know. And we'll get you on.
Absolutely.
We'll have URP come on, and then we'll kick his episode again.
Well, the issue is like I just get so excited about it. I tend to tell everybody everything whenever I'm given the chance. So I might have to, you build up the next alpha drop or whatever.
Sure.
But, anytime you'd like to have a conversation, I'm happy to connect.
And same here. If you ever need an audience again, you got it.
Awesome. Well, let's keep absolutely. You're going on the short list of places we like to go. So thank you so much for your questions. This was a lot of fun, and thank you so much for the interest and the enthusiasm. And I'm excited to work with you guys and build this to what it can be. So if you don't cut me off, man, I sometimes will ramble. So
it's all good, dude. It's all good. Right. I'm about to go check to see what edition numbers I got because I don't remember.
Nice. All right, dude. Cool. Well, let me know and keep an eye out for those low numbers.
Yep, absolutely. All right, great. Thanks again, man. Have a great night, and we'll definitely be in touch.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll be ready.
All right. Awesome.
Later.
You have been listening to the Pops N Magz Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter @JustAddSpam. Pops N Magz is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Pam's Day Spa.